Okay. Just go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order and we'll start with the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just don't have to talk loud.
Okay, well, we'll start out with commission review. Go ahead, Trish, if you like.
Well, I wanted to, and I don't know if I'll wait till Keith, but we need to talk about the 911 board again. They're wanting to dissolve the 911 board, which I think they should, and then have have an advisory meeting or advisory board instead of a governing board. But there needs to be a plan in place before they do that, between the city, counties, and Grandview and Milford. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that.
The board has agreed that they've met and they want to dissolve?
They have not dissolved yet, but they
Right.
do want to talk about it, yes.
Okay.
So they're working on a plan on how it's going to look, and then they'll get with us when they figure that out. So, but they need to have everybody on the same page, all the entities, city, county, Grandview, and Milford. And then I went on the food pantry tour. That was really, I was real excited. Brad Carlton gave us the tour, and it was amazing. I'm really excited that they've gotten that as far as it is, and hopefully within about 5 weeks, I think they'll be open. So that'll be good. And I encourage everybody to go down there and check it out. Went to the child care meeting, my child care coalition meeting, and they recently received a grant from Michelin that they are going to be using for training and helping the already current child care providers go to training that they're required to go to through the year. Still working on trying to get some corporations and businesses involved in being on board as far as going together on maybe a consortium for childcare.
Good morning, Keith.
Hi, Keith. Went to the EDC meeting. Nothing major there, but they are working on pamphlets. I think all of us got an email from Mark Powers. I don't know if any of you responded. Explaining, what jobs have been brought, what things that the EDC has done. And I think that will be good for the public to hear and see. Went to the DSIP meeting for Grand Avenue. They are working on the grant. The regulations for the grant have not come out yet, but we want to be ahead of this, ahead of it so we can put that in. Just looking for the data from, how many military veterans, civilians go actually down Grand Avenue, making it, to where they see the value of having us redo that road and making, keeping the base mission ready, which is the goal of having a base. So also went to the other Grand Avenue revitalization, the brownfield study that they're doing. They are going to also be at the second public hearing that their informational hearing. They're going to be at the schools in review, education and schools in review on the 24th. So I encourage the public, because you'll get a lot of information both from the school district and from Stantec on things going on in the community, and just went over the strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities that are down there on Grand Avenue. And there's a lot of potential down there. Of course, it takes money, but getting people involved and trying to revitalize that, I think, will be beneficial to our community. So, and I also wanted to, at the the staff meeting, I do want to talk about CIC again because we're having some issues again. Still.
CIP or CIC?
CIC.
Yeah, I didn't know if Travis was gonna come in earlier or anything, to talk about that, but yes, it does sound like they've got some more issues. It's, needs to be resolved for sure. Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, I went to the employee task force meeting, and they have talked about having their golf tournament again in June. And then they also have not determined a training day time frame, but they're working on getting that together. Also, I went to the legislative update they had last Saturday, I believe. Kind of mixed up on my day. On Saturday, and Senator Arga Bright, along with Nate Butler and Sean Chauncey, were there. And that was an interesting time. They gave us an update on House Bill 2396 that has the property tax funding mechanism in there, and they would also create the ability for citizens to protest. And then once they protest, then that ASTR would come into play and give some money back to counties, is the way that I understand it.
Are they all for it?
Yes, yeah. Travis was there, and he talked about 2396 as a bill, and then leaving the that HCR constitutional amendment off of it, and just leave that alone because that changes the mechanisms a little bit. But it was good conversation, and I think it's important that they continue to talk to appraisers, to treasurers, to commissioners about some of these bills, because they put them together. And Adam from Wallace County, I believe. Anyway, he used to be a county commissioner. His wife's a county treasurer, and it seems like he has some good intentions there, and I think there is. It's just that I think there's some things in those bills that need to be digested and reviewed over a little bit before they come into place. But it sounds like they were going to do that.
Did they talk about like the 3% increase? Is that what 2396, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how it was going to affect like different. I mean, like you have a neighbor, that one neighbor has the same exact house, and they're going to be paying $2,000 or $3,000 difference if that house is never sold.
That's a complaint we've gotten for years, is that somebody will say, well, my neighbor's house got valued at this, and it's the same house as mine.
Mm-hmm.
And mine's
Yeah, it's just gonna make it even worse, I think. Yeah.
Well, in the perfect world, like Travis and I talked about this a lot of times, is those are all computer generated values, and that's certainly not perfect, but there is inconsistencies with depending on how they take a third of the county every year, and they'll review that area. And so out in Milford, the way that I understand it, out in Milford, their valuations and stuff has just went up very small. Well, then this side of town out on the southern part of Geary County, a lot of those went up a lot. But that's kind of the way the general it has been in the past. But I think they just need to clean up some of that stuff. This bill 2396 also will do away with that revenue neutral, dealing with that, which I think that's good, because I don't think that's perfect too. I don't understand all of that, but the mechanisms that go into that, it seems like a lot of trouble and a lot of work.
Well, I see the intent of it was to show, okay, this is what it would be if you didn't, raised how much you were going to be collecting from the taxpayer, because I think some commissioners have hid behind the fact that, oh, we didn't raise the taxes or didn't raise the mill levy, so we didn't raise any taxes. But yes, if your assessment goes up, you're going to raise the taxes if you leave the mill levy the same. So I see the intent, but it is very confusing.
But they've tried the tax lid.
Yeah.
And now this. I don't know that there is a perfect solution. The intent's good. I don't know. I talked to Senator Arterbright about it, and he said he's all for it, and Sean Chauncey's for it. So, but if they can reinvent the LABTR through this other process,
It didn't sound like that was ever gonna come back. All
No,
those
no,
demand
not
transfers.
that, but they're
Oh,
Like an incentive to
different
be.
ways.
But I mean, okay, if they tap us at 3, make it as 3% is the increase. Well, that's our step right there for our employees. So we're not going to meet it anytime.
Right.
well, they sound like they're gonna work through it. Of course, here this week, I think they're gonna be done on the 27th or 28th. I don't think they're gonna be there, is what it sounded like Senator Arterbright was saying, because I was thinking about taking the kids down to the Capitol on the 27th or 28th, so I need to get with him about that. But it sounds like they were gonna work on them here the first of the week, and then be gone the rest of the week. So also they talked about the veterans bill, and it sounded to me that was a good way to also if they're going to do some of these tax reductions or give money back, that the taxes, once they're paid, then they go to the state, and then they'd be returned, portion would be returned back to the taxpayer from the state, which I like that. I don't know, tax, anytime and you want to be able to take care of the veterans and everybody else, but it's just that whenever, just like with these property tax exemptions, also that House Bill 2014, they've included now with the watercraft, mopeds, some airplanes, and all that other stuff. Anytime you take any of that stuff off the tax roll, it has to be made up someplace else, and that's what's tough too. So just hard decisions to be made. So, but it was good conversation. There was not a lot of people there, but sometimes that enables you to have more of a general conversations with them. So it was a good meeting. So that was I liked that they came down, and the chamber's having their legislative
The
5th of April. So yeah. So that's all I have.
Well, I didn't have any meetings. Well, MPO got canceled till April. And I filled in for you at juvenile detention.
And I've got your note, yeah.
That's a packet on the table. The one thing, that was a bad weather day and people didn't come. We had some people that out west that didn't have power.
Oh, wow.
And so they couldn't even get on Zoom.
Oh,
And so we had a quorum, but I think there was only 5 of us there in person. But the auditor didn't show up because of the weather, and so he'll come next month.
well, I appreciate you doing that. I hope to get to this January, February, and March. It's been crazy, so it's either been the weather or something else. So hopefully,
Yeah,
I appreciate that though.
that's all I have. Crystal, you ready?
I am.
Thanks for coming.
The owl is not working, so they can hear us. They just can't see all. Well, they might be able to see you, Crystal.
There, now they can see that. Geary County Human Resource Director Crystal Malchos, my weekly update. I hope everybody enjoyed the long week last week. Pretty good. Although I don't know about your kids or grandkids, but mine is quite happy to be back in school. There's only so much you can do. She misses her friends.
Yeah.
So I do have some out-of-office notifications for approval/signature. And as Kathy was talking about what the state is going through at the moment up at the Capitol, on Wednesday, there will be a proclamation signed by the governor stating that April is County Government Month. I attended last year as the vice president for KAC, and I've been asked to attend again this year. Tammy doesn't have a problem with it, so I just sent you guys notification. I will be there, and then we have our board meeting afterwards, so I'll just stay for the board meeting in Topeka. They do ask if counties are willing to participate via social media or just do other things to help promote County Government Month. Saline County, for example, they will be issuing a proclamation at the county level, running a social media campaign highlighting employees, and their county administrator is presenting his annual county update to several civic groups. So I didn't know if the county commission would like to formally do something in coordination with KAC for County Government Month.
Sure. I think we should do a proclamation.
Also, that's a good idea.
Okay. I will work with some of the other department heads, talk to them at department staff meeting today, and just see if maybe there's someone or different areas that we want to highlight. Personally, I like the idea of maybe a department. And again, just because of everything that Public Works did during the storms and stuff earlier this year, our own Public Works administrator was out running equipment himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he led by example, and I just think that's something that we would like to highlight.
Yes, a leader should be doing that, yes.
Yeah. So I do think that sometimes people will more easily follow a leader that shows them what to do and how to do it rather than just tells them what to do. And I think Jeremy's a good example of that.
Yeah.
Also, I will be a little late tomorrow, just doctor's appointment. Again, I'm communicating everything with Tammy, so she's aware when I'll be here, when I'll be out. Since the last time I've met with you, we did have our quarterly update with Bukati. Our numbers are looking really good at the end of the quarter, which will be next Sunday, next Monday. They will do their quarterly report, and then we'll make an arrangement for sometime in either late April, early May for them to come in and present to the commission.
Mm-hmm.
But they did let us know that we are saving money now compared to if we had stayed as partially self-insured. So it was a very good decision on the county's part to move back to fully insured.
I was just worried if something happened, one or two people get cancer, that would have just wiped us out. So yeah, I'm glad this is truly insurance.
Yes,
It's
yes,
our
yes.
insurance.
And I think the last thing I have for now, and I'll be back at 11:30, is that as the president for KAC, they want me to go to the NACO conference, which will be in Philadelphia in July. And like last year, the county approves. I like to put the costs on my county credit card, and the KAC will reimburse the county directly afterwards.
I'm good with that.
It's approximately $2,000 to $2,500 up front, and then the KAC would reimburse.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to make my reservations today.
Good representation.
Thank you very much. That's all I have.
I know my computer is not, it finally died, but so I didn't get a chance to check. Did we get the survey on the website yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I visited with Teresa a little bit with a couple options that we had,
Okay.
and just haven't heard back on which options we want to go with.
Okay. So maybe let's talk about that at the staff meeting. And then I didn't know how you guys wanted to handle, I haven't seen any of the surveys yet. How are we going to compilate the?
I took them because I thought last week I could start working. I've been going through them and stapling the envelope with each one that I opened, but I was trying to set up some sort of, I've got a spreadsheet going on.
Okay.
What I plan to do, because I know that was kind of my idea, so I didn't know how much labor you guys wanted to put into it. But needless to say, I put together a spreadsheet and I put each question on there, and each question, then if somebody says, roads, which I'm going to include them, but I know they're city.
Mhm.
And then I just put work on city, whatever they said. And then I was just going to put how many responses there were. and then attach, again, anybody, you can go through each one of them, but I don't know if you want me to number them or whatever, pertains to.
Well, I can help. I know I don't know how many responses do we have?
I had 119, I think, and then when I came
We
in on
probably have
Sunday,
another
15, I think.
Well,
it was,
15,
yeah. But
Teresa told me you were doing that, so I just been putting them over here and then they can take it.
um, uh, what was I gonna say? I think that when we go through them, we have those, I've had a few emails that said, I just realized, and it seems like it's through conversation, that somebody said, I didn't realize that it was in there. I'm gonna be sending mine in late, and then I've got some friends that were gonna send them in also. It's like that he didn't realize that they were in there.
Mhm.
So I said, just keep sending them in, and then I don't know if we're gonna have a specific time frame or not, but I think it would be good also to somehow, does the paper come down here, or how do you get, I would
Just
like
send it to the, we can send it to them. I usually just send it to the
encourage people
editor.
continue to send them in. So.
Well, I'd like to put it on our website
Yeah.
and also our Facebook page and then
I
share it
forgot
on
about
each of
that, but yeah,
ours.
if we could-
Yeah, Crystal gave a few options of how we could do it,
Mhm.
and then I sent it to you, but.
Well, we can talk about it at the,
Yeah.
see what the department
Yeah,
heads
she
feel.
can say what she
Mhm.
told me, and then you guys can decide what you wanna do.
Cause I mean, that is a huge number of people, almost 48% of our housing here is rentals, so they didn't get those. So,
And then just so the commission's aware, on the HR side, I'm the only one over there today. And then Tiffany will be back tomorrow, and then they'll both be here Wednesday when I'm in Topeka. So.
okay.
All right,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much.
Kathy, I don't know, last year when that veterans bill came out, we actually, pulled all the data from the veterans website, Tammy and Travis, and we have the highest percentage of veterans in the state, 14%, and everybody else is between 3 and 0. That's how much more. And so we kind of did like if I think 68% of those veterans owned a house, that was just on the lower end of the spectrum on as far as value, it would have cost the county $3 million.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we always had those questions down there about, do I get any discount or anything else? But,
Mhm.
on the same token, as bad as you feel, I don't know if the state, again, wants to take the money out of their portion that the county can't continue because, even with the senior citizens, gosh, my heart used to go out to them. What about all the widows in town that lost their husband and they just are on a fixed income and, you have to pay their taxes. And I used to just tell them, you come in when you can and you pay what you can and we're going to work with you so you get your taxes paid. But, then it's the same thing there. You're going to, your heart goes out to any of those people. And I guess the overall fix would be to try to get some reduction in taxes some way so that these people can stay in their homes and not have to worry about it.
Mhm.
But, I've read a little bit of that information because that bill's been hanging out there for several years.
They rewrote it after we sent them that information. So I was really glad that Tammy and Travis gave that information and were able to do that. And let them know, hey, we're all for this, but you guys need to help us with it. And so they rewrote that bill based on those numbers because that is a huge
Mhm.
thing. So, but it is a great way to keep veterans here in the state.
But I
Yeah.
agree, there's other people out there in need too, so.
And the ones that, a lot of the people that came, not a lot, but, some of the people I talked to, their husband was in the military, but nonetheless, they're here and trying to make ends meet. Gosh, it's just hard on everybody.
Mhm. How are you, Tammy?
Good?
Good, thanks. Yep.
Betsy, I'm glad to see you're not wearing a cast.
No.
Is anybody in your family?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, thank goodness.
Very good at that.
just a lot of safe speed.
Oh, good.
I have paper copies of the internal budget calendar if you guys want it. I know I sent it to you
Yeah.
electronically.
We have it. It's in
Yeah,
a
it should be
packet.
in the packet.
Yeah, it is.
Perfect. Tammy Robinson, Finance Director. The main thing I wanted to talk about today is the 2026 internal budget calendar. You've received that, might have had a chance to look at it. Are there any questions or concerns on the outline of the calendar? One thing I do want to note, where it says June 9th to the 20th is the meetings between the commissioners and the agencies, outside entities. What I'm planning on scheduling, if it works with all of your calendars, is June 9th, which is a Monday, so a normal commission day. June 12th would be that Thursday. And then the following Monday, June 16th. And then Wednesday, June 18th, because June 19th is Juneteenth, so we'll be closed that day.
So the 9th, the 12th, and what?
16th and the 18th. And we've been able to get all of those in 4 days in the past, so if that works for you guys.
I'm fine. I don't plan on taking any.
Okay, that helps just so that when we start sending out the documentation and people ask for a date, then I can give them those days. And what we try to do on the Thursdays, which this case will be Thursday and the following Wednesday, is to just go in the afternoons. So it would be like from 2 to 5. And then on the 2 commission days, we try to schedule those also in the afternoon because you have your meeting in the morning, so we try not to mix them in the middle.
So are you breaking it down? I guess you wouldn't know, but outside agencies, one day?
Not
Versus-
always, because it really just depends. Some of them can't just do it on that day.
Right.
So, I mean, they are intermixed in there, but what we really try to do is that first day is all outside agencies. And then after that, it's just, it kind of depends on.
Once we get that, I'd like to have, I know we just did like budget session, but have who all, we're all speaking
And I
to.
give that to
Yeah,
Teresa.
that's what I want. I'd like it so
she
people
can
know.
probably just add that sheet to the back of your calendar or something if that works for you. Unless there's a better way for you to get it.
Tammy, what was the other date? 9th, 12th,
16th and 18th.
18th, okay.
And then, of course, just to point out as well, depending on whether we would exceed the R&R, should we choose to exceed it, then our budget would actually be due October 1st to the clerk. If we do not exceed it, then it's due August 25th. So when I set the calendar, I set it based on the August 25th as if we're not going to exceed it. That way, if I have to make adjustments, it's actually pushing it out, and it's easier to push it out than it is to try to scale it back if we have to meet that August 25th date. So everything is in there with that in mind.
Refresh my memory, but last year we made the resolution to exceed, but then we backed it down.
We did
So
end
it
up
gave us
going,
more time.
it was not very much under, but we did not exceed it. However, when the final values came out in November, we were over. But that, based on a bill that they passed, allowed us to do that because our dollar amount didn't go over. It was just the rate amount that went over.
That's why it should be, instead of revenue neutral rate, it should be revenue neutral value or
dollars. It
something.
would be so much,
It would be
it would make
easier
so
for
much
people
more
to
sense.
understand. Yeah.
it would make much more sense. And, you know, some of the forms that they had last year, they changed because of that. And then it just confused the people when they got their bills. So,
Well, maybe this House Bill 2396 law. Change that.
It just give us another set of issues.
Yeah, because I read this morning that one side, and I feel like it was the House side, that they intended to leave not only this new, but the R&R in there as well.
Oh, really?
And the Senate side didn't, it took out the R&R. And so I'm like, so it's like you have a tax lid, because basically this new one is like the old tax lid, very similar to the old tax lid. So then you would have that and this R&R.
And I don't think they understand that it's like a tax lid.
Well, I mean, if any of them were here when that was in place, I mean, the way they wrote it, they had to have had an idea because it mimics it too much to
Yeah.
not. But, I guess
They're
we'll
pretty
see what
adamant
happens with
about,
that.
you know, that the R&R didn't necessarily do what it was supposed to do because, you know, like Leavenworth County, you know, raised theirs quite a bit, their taxes quite a bit. So, you know, the purpose of what they thought it would do isn't necessarily serving the purpose.
No, I mean, the thing that we noticed when it first came into play is that all it's doing is making you do the same things you do already. You already have a public hearing.
Yeah.
And now you have to send it out to the people and pay money to do it, which when it was on the state's dollar, that's one thing, but last year was the last year, which means that any notices we send out now, as the state is notoriously known to do, is push it down to the county level to have to pay. And so I think the intent of trying to lower taxes is not a bad thing. It's just that what they put in place doesn't really do the job.
Well, I think it restricts us and yeah, it just gives it does push it down and makes us deal with it.
Right. Cost wise especially, and it's not cheap. Was it 10,000?
Yeah, I think it was.
Close to 10. I think it was like nine something.
No, it went up.
Oh, it went up for the mailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there any other questions? Otherwise, I was planning on giving this to the department heads today at the meeting, just so they had it. And if they have any questions or concerns, they could let me know.
Nope, I'm good with it. It looks good. Thank you.
And pass it out.
Once we clear that, then I'll go ahead and get it out on the website, on the finance page for people to be able to see. The only other things I wanted to let you know, just as a reminder, there's a CIP work session scheduled on April 14th at 12:15 p.m. The forms will be due in to me on April 4th. That will give me enough time to compile the information and get it to Teresa for the packets. And then we did just have some CDs mature on the 17th of September, and so we put those back out to bid. And Sherry and I closed on 3 new CDs. One was originally in Entrust and 2 were originally in Central National, and it stayed the same. We left the 1 in Entrust and the 2 are back at Central National. And so we have the 1 at a 6-month maturity and the other 2 are at 24 months maturity, the dates and the rates.
Did
Thank
the
you.
rates go up?
No, but they're still not bad. I mean, they're just under 4%, so that's still good.
Yeah, I
And
think
it's
that's
stable, you know, we have it stable at least for the 6 to 24 month period rather than not really knowing what's gonna happen, so.
Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, we had a PDC meeting last week.
good. Oh,
Is there anything you'd want to add?
No, it was very short. It
It
was
was
about 20 minutes.
Super short.
well, that's good.
Yeah, it was good. I did just let him know that the sheriff and the public works director is working with justice planners and that they anticipate maybe a May date or a start date on that operational study. I think that was the main thing that we went over. There wasn't really any other new developments on the, I did let him know that our rate had been increased from an A to an A+, which not only is the county, but is also the PBC as an independent agency from there, so.
I know Ken was excited about that.
Yeah.
The banker guy.
Yeah.
So it was good. And I also let him know that all the information is to the auditor and that our plan is to have that done at the end of June. So
Nice. Thank you.
that's all I have this morning.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, are you going back across? Well, what's the take? Forgot to leave those Christmas. Thank you.
Hello, Undersheriff.
How's it going?
How was dance?
We didn't have it this weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we had a weekend off, so we went to Omaha, walked around the zoo
Oh, fun.
all day Saturday, so. Big zoo.
It is. It is a big sale. Mm.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been to the Omaha Zoo. You on your own or?
I am,
Oh, okay, you wanna go ahead and go?
I sure can. Under Sheriff Stopper, Sheriff Beckman couldn't be here this morning, he sends his apologies. Go over the report from 3/5 to 3/11. Average jail population was 97.5. We had 16 prisoner transports, 10 accidents, 210 traffic stops, 81 citations issued out of those, 1 criminal threat, 165 civil papers served, 40 assist outside agencies, 2 DUIs, 4 drug investigations, 4 batteries, 1 criminal damage to property, 2 larcenies, 1 flee and elude, with a total of 38 arrests and a total number of incidents of 735.
How's the, what kind of, I don't know how to ask my question, but what, with the new construction or the construction on I-70, any increase there?
Not as of yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully after last year, moving back into the same cycle with just different sides of the road, hopefully everybody's more accustomed to that, so.
Well, one thing I did like was that they closed the on-ramp at Fort Riley going west. And that quit that bottleneck, I call it.
Yes, sir.
That it?
That's it.
That's your report?
Do you have any questions?
No, I do want to thank you for working so hard on the forfeiture account. I know this was your first year of trying to get that to where you could submit it to the state, and it was a little hairy.
Yes, ma'am. It took some effort, but we got it done.
Well, I appreciate your hard work on that. I talked to the sheriff the other day and about, different things that he's doing to look for efficiencies. And I don't know if you're familiar with the uniform issue, that you guys were able to find some uniform pants that were probably half of what you were paying. And that's exact. And you're wearing them.
I'm actually wearing them.
Do you
right
like
now,
them?
so-
I mean, are they the same quality or?
They seem to be holding up pretty well.
Okay.
Maybe the fit isn't what I'm used to. But
Yeah.
maybe I just need a different size. But no, they are. So we're just trying to T&E them right now, see if they're going to work.
Good. Good.
There's really no point in buying something that's half the price if it lasts half as long.
Exactly. And that's, I'm glad you guys are doing your due diligence, but I mean, that's a pretty big decrease and would save a lot of money. So
Yes, ma'am.
thank you guys for looking into that. I mean, I'm all about shopping local, but if you can save $40 on one pair of pants, that's,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We'll do some due diligence. So
thank you.
it's got to be worth it. So
That's all we're asking.
So when I was over there with Sheriff and, got an update on Kalia, and that seems to be going well.
it is. So we have a site-based date picked out. I think it's in June. And then hopefully that goes well. And they're in our web-based system right now, going through and making sure the policies and the proofs are there, and then they'll show up for a site-based. And if everything goes smooth, we will get, I guess, presented with our accreditation in November. So
That'd be awesome. I know you guys have worked hard on that too.
Sergeant Clark has put in a lot of work on that. So
Yeah, I was talking to him about it. And he thinks they got everything, all the bugs worked out of it. And they don't think that there'll be much of a problem. So,
There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I was not aware of, so
Yeah.
a lot of work goes into that. Then, after that, we'll start, we started the process now of actually updating the jail policies and stuff. Get those lined out too, because those also need to be lined out.
Make sure that we're checking with HR on those kind of things too, because I know that there were some things that they were enforcing that were not recognized by the state. Something to do with the Department of Labor. If you just get with Crystal, she can explain it a little bit better. But there were some things like the I guess it was the what do you call it? I'm having a brain fart. I need more coffee. Like the appeal process. There was something that wasn't.
Agreements.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, just make sure that we're all on the same page on that too. So.
We've had several meetings with Chris.
Oh, good, good.
Yep.
Thank you. So, all right. Yes, thank you. Well, good luck in your new position and let us know if there's anything we can do to help you.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else?
no, you did good.
All
Are
right.
you coming back for the staff meeting?
I'm not. So I have another meeting that starts here at 11.
Okay.
So I will not be back for that.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. You guys have a good day.
You too. Hi, Charles.
Hey, how's it going? Y'all ready for me or?
You bet. Roll right along.
Make a motion to go into the Board of Public Health.
Do I hear a second?
A second?
Been moved and seconded to open this public board of health. All in favor, say aye.
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 So it's been a good month.
Well, good.
There's been some public health situations going on in Kansas.
Mhm.
The first one we talked about last month was with TB. It met all our expectations that it was going to peak in mid-February and hold steady. They're still doing the contact tracing, but it doesn't look like it's going to get any farther. As for the bird flu, we're at the same point as last month. It's out there, but it's only jumped to a couple different, people. It's still in the animals. So the risk level is low with that. Now, the one I do want to talk about is measles. So when I sent this to you guys on Thursday, we had 6 cases. We're up to 10 now in
wow.
Kansas.
Any in Geary County?
None in Geary County so far. So Geary County we're at around 75% for our vaccination rate for measles. So, we're protected, but I would like to get that number higher. Out of the 10 people who have been infected in Kansas, they've all been under 17, and 9 of them are unvaccinated. And the vaccination rate with one vaccine is 93%, so it matches up perfect. If we can get more people vaccinated, the safer it will be.
So how do you know about getting that out to the public?
We're working on a media campaign right now. It's going to be Facebook and possibly the radio. We're talking with the schools, see if we can push it with, I don't remember what their system's called. It's their email blast they send out.
What,
Is this Southwest Kansas? Is that like out Garden City? Is there some reason with it being more transient and?
It looks like it's pushing up from Texas.
Yeah, that's what, that, I was
And so,
listening to something yesterday on the news and they were having a big deal with the new guy that takes care of all that stuff, and they were having a big thing about the people coming up and not getting the vaccination and how you get that mandated too, that
it's following from Texas to Oklahoma, now Southwest Kansas, and it's making its way up.
what's
Do
the-
your WIC, oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
The WIC, are they pushing that too?
Oh,
When they're
yes.
meeting with the, new moms and,
Yeah, when they meet with the new moms, they talk about
Yeah.
vaccines and their recommendations.
That was gonna be my question, how young do you start vaccinating?
6 months for MMR, which is the one that they need for this. But the vaccine, it works, so I think that we should continue to push that. For our other diseases, our acute respiratory illnesses, we are down to 12.25% from last month. That's a good sign. We were expecting it. It's during the winter time where our respiratory illnesses come from. And since we're moving into spring, we expect it to drop. The strange one, our influenza went up. I mean, it was very minor, but it still went up from
Influenza or RSV?
Influenza. RSV is actually down.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a lot of kids I knew had influenza.
That one was strange. And gastrointestinal sicknesses are up.
Mm-hmm.
Even with that, we had one case of salmonella, and that was not from a restaurant or anything. It was someone in their house didn't properly cook their food. And then one case of varicella. Chickenpox.
Okay.
So, I mean, I remember when chickenpox was like just a thing we got as kids.
Yeah.
That does cause issues later on. It's actually the shingles virus.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can prevent people from getting chickenpox, you help them later on in life by preventing shingles. So the vaccine's working on that. To have one person at this time have chickenpox out of the whole county,
Yeah.
that's really good. For our programs, we have, our numbers are right where they're supposed to be, same as it is every year at this time, with both our clinic and WIC. We've got one training coming up, and that's that supervisory training. We've got 3 people going to it.
Nice.
Our community engagement, we don't have anything going on yet. We're planning on some events coming up. The only thing I could possibly put under there is it's with our WIC clinic. We're working with Kanza with our vendors to go train them. It's we do it every 2 years. We go out to each vendor that gives WIC, and we make sure that they're doing everything correct. So as a partnership with Kanza, we're handling that. We still have 2 vacancies for our registered dietitian and our registered nurse. I'm working with HR to get that filled. And for the facility, we just had our annual maintenance on our generator, and then just general maintenance. They changed some bulbs and some ceiling tile.
How's Paige doing?
Oh, she is great. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Paige.
I saw her at chamber after hours, so I'm glad she's engaged in the community still.
Yeah, we're gonna try and continue to have her working with Main Street,
Nice.
since that is part of the social determinants of health,
Yes.
improving the built neighborhood. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna keep her in that.
Good.
Yeah, she's helping me out a lot.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
We're almost back to 100% staff, just those 2 positions.
Yeah. It's hard to find people these days. I know a lot of people are still looking.
It is, especially a dietitian.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot out there.
No.
But so I'm working with K-State. So when the graduating class,
Mm-hmm.
we might be able to snag some up from there.
Oh, good.
So how are we competitive on pay?
Our pay is good with the rest of the way Kansas is paying our dietitians. It's just having someone, either they have to move in here or quit their current job to come to us. You know, if they've been there for 5 years, they don't want to give that up to start somewhere new.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we can get one of the students. But other than that, it's been a good month.
So how soon do you plan or hoping to get your campaign for the measles vaccine?
Probably by Wednesday, we'll have it going. It might be as soon as tomorrow, but definitely by Wednesday. Is there any other questions?
Just, it's trivial, but, have you cut back on trying to help out as much and be more?
Oh, yes, I have.
Okay.
Quite a bit, actually.
Good. I know that's
So now
hard.
you're sleeping in your office?
I'm trying to, but they keep waking me up.
Well, that was something we were worried about, so.
Oh, no. I've been able to cut back on a lot of stuff. And, I mean, if you ask finance and the treasurer's office, things are moving a lot smoother. No, that's not me.
Okay, good.
And my last question is, have you met with Riley County's health director?
Yes, I have. She seems really good at what she does. She's still trying to get caught up on like the flow of things over there.
Sure.
But she's got a lot of experience and she's going to be an asset to us over here.
Good. Good. Well, thanks.
They're still missing a FEP coordinator over there, so we're helping out with what we can, but she's working on it.
Good. Well, thank you. Is that it?
That is everything I've got.
All right.
Okay.
Well, then I make a motion we go out of Board of Health.
I'll second.
And then seconded to close the session with the public board of health. All in favor, say
Hi.
I'll be back for the department head meeting.
aye.
All right. Thank you.
Can you like check and see if you got an email? Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna run down the hall.
Now, these different, when these different
Yeah.
people come in.
Yeah, and when I get back, I'll start to
Reports,
publish
are we
this with,
supposed to be,
I hope that the
supposed to
boys
be
are
going in
there.
and out of
Although we had one last week.
that meeting?
No,
No,
it's just the
just-
Board of Health.
Just-
Oh.
That's a statute,
So-
isn't it?
Oh, I didn't know that, so I just kind of threw me off, I didn't know.
The commissioners
serve.
are the Board of
Yeah,
Health.
I'll.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only one.
I just wondered, I thought,
And I have that resolution. That's the resolution.
Thank you. Should that not say on the agenda then, Board of Health? Should that not say on the agenda? That That's not, I mean, it is monthly meeting, should that be on Board of Health and change?
Yeah.
Because I was looking to see what was the difference, but they all say the same.
No, you're right. And then, let's see. Down there, we need to put down there.
And on this proclamation, did you get that from the, 11 Arms? Are we gonna go over that? This proclamation from the Loving Arms,
I don't know anything about it.
they just emailed everything.
I probably saw it. And,
I didn't know if we should talk about, did you see that?
I don't know.
The proclamation request, Week of the Young Child,
No, I didn't get that.
it's kind of, I don't know why they, Geary.
Usually they just have you meet them, but a lot of times they like you to, they like to come do it.
Okay, so I didn't know if we should, I didn't put that on there, but I didn't know.
For next week.
Because it's April 5th through the 11th. So your email to put it on the agenda or something.
No,
Okay.
and
If you want to do that resolution on the convention today, I didn't put it on the agenda, I didn't vote on it.
Right.
It's ready.
Okay.
Put it on the agenda for.
I'm gonna be on one for next week. That way the public's aware.
Yeah, I mean, it was on the agenda for the discussion last time, but, yeah, I didn't get it put on the agenda, so I'll tell Teresa when she comes back. We'll put it on next time.
Well,
That means that hey, this is what they're talking about, you hustle down and pay before we get the resolution done, you save yourself. It's worked for a couple of people.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah,
So,
mhm,
yeah, they'll get one more week,
yeah,
they'll be good.
okay. Wouldn't, all right, we've done this, we met with Sean Johnson.
did that legislative update on Saturday morning.
Oh, it was a chamber deal.
Nate Butler just had it.
I did not see that. I don't know if I got it. Because Mike Arterbuck didn't tell me, he told me that the legislative copy,
Is April 5th.
yeah, but he said, looked like Nate wasn't gonna be there, and neither was Sean. And he goes, I don't even, he said, I don't wanna be the only person there. You know, getting beat up. I said, well, according to what I heard, that, what's her name? Dr. Buell, Board of Education, she was gonna be there.
Yeah, that's what Nate is. Oh, yes. That's what was, Nate's.
Was it on Facebook?
Yeah, that was Nate, yeah, that was Nate's Facebook. Yeah.
No, see,
Oh.
I don't look at Facebook. Hardly.
Well, and there's,
Oh, Anita thought that she was,
maybe that was, yeah, but that was how I knew about
where was it?
it. It would. Well, there's about 15, 20 people there. I like those because they are, there's not a lot of people there. And there's some good questions. Do you want me to tell Teresa about that proclamation?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to forward it to you?
Well, I'll go back and find, but go ahead and tell her to put it on the agenda for next week. Matter of fact, we can, we could hammer that and, the resolution on the redemption.
Today?
No,
Tomorrow?
we could have, put down county counselor for 15 minutes to do that. And that's the other deal, see, there's been times in the past where there's 5 Mondays in a month. Sometimes we don't even have a meeting for years ago. Unless there was something really earth-shaking.
Oh, no wonder I didn't hear from Zach. He's no longer there.
Oh, he's not.
Trent will be addressing issues. Yeah, one day I'll sit here and print, go get it, come back and be printing something else. And then it said it's not offline and my computer is online, but the printer is offline. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it has been a pain in the butt to print stuff.
No, it is not.
We'll probably need a
She
new
said-
one.
Told us 3 times that it's not working. It's broke. It needs to be replaced.
Oh, yeah. So like I said, I don't know if you want to get a new printer or you want to use these.
So maybe, I don't know, if Trent will talk to me or, I mean, it doesn't have to be any big fangled, you
No,
know, just something to print stuff.
yeah.
So I don't know.
One thing I want y'all to talk about today, at some time, is the fireworks resolution.
Oh,
You know, I sent that email to all of you, because Gary said, well, you have in the minutes that it's $1,000 for the permit fee. I said, yeah, that's what they voted on. Well, the resolution says $500. So I went back and watched it, and Kathy said she had no problem with 500. Trish said she's okay with it, but she thinks it's confusing to have two permit amounts. We talked about it a lot, and then just adopted or approved the resolution.
For fun.
And the resolution says $500. But you all thought, when you emailed me back, thought it was that.
I did, I could swear that.
I thought it was 1,000 too.
1,000,
I know the
'cause
cities is
So
1,500,
you
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm, what do
And
we
I mean,
want to do?
I think you all wanted 1,000, but when he brought the resolution up, it must have said 500 and,
What does he say? What would?
He recommended the 500.
yeah, because you asked Kurt or whatever,
I
and
asked
Kurt said
whether it-
he thought that there wouldn't be as many. Well, we only have 4, so I don't know. But if,
And, you know, and then I remember us talking because 3 of them are like right, like they're pretty much in the city, you know, like the one on East Street. And the only one that's truly out in the county, you know, away from the city is the one at BJ's. So,
Geez, I know, I said, I thought that Trish had said $1,000, but when I was looking at my notes, I wrote down 500, so.
well, I think we did talk about it for a
yeah,
while,
I mean,
so.
there was a lot of talk about it. There was a lot,
Mhm.
and I watched that more than once. And,
Well,
you know,
So,
so if you want to change something, then we have to have a new resolution. Otherwise, I need you to instruct me to change it to the minutes to 500 to match the resolutions.
so what's it take to change it?
The resolution?
Mhm.
just
Did you
change
make
it and
that
then read.
resolution up, Betsy? No? Well, then Gary must have, or Ken. They would just have to redo it.
Did he have
I
a
mean,
approved theory? Yeah,
Yeah, I looked at it.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
They drafted it
Okay.
and then I approved it and then you guys.
Well, if Gary's recommendation is 500, then why would we not go with that? I understand what Trish is saying, but, no,
Well, it used to be 100.
right, yeah.
Which I thought was
Yeah,
low.
yeah,
I mean, because
yeah.
they're out there, you know, inspecting and making sure things are.
I guess we could leave it for this year and then next year bump it. But I truly thought 1,000 was sufficient.
Well, I mean, it's already approved at 500, so I guess we could do that and then increase it next year.
You know?
Okay.
That way it's not as confusing. Thought you might get a kick out of that.
I've got the downstairs receipts or wherever from Guy Day when he was in there. You saved these things? Gee.
I was going through it, but
And then I don't know when you're gonna discuss the night meeting.
next week,
You want it on the agenda?
yeah. And put Betsy on the agenda for 15 minutes in regards to proclamation and the resolution.
And then next week, during review and updates, I'm gonna bring in to see if we'll do a letter of support for our Child Care Coalition to put in for a grant.
So can that all fit under Betsy's time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I was just gonna do it during review and updates, but whatever.
Well, okay, we can do that.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You down home, what?
Oh, we need to put the NRP on the, next week too. They need that so it can get moving, please.
Just to approve the new plan, is that what you need
Yeah.
to do?
Mhm.
Didn't see any change orders.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah,
Yeah, there were.
I didn't see any.
Was there not on there?
See them sent out.
they said they did.
They're in the packet. Keith, they're in the packet. The change orders were in the packet.
Yeah.
Not
when
printed
they sent
out.
Individually, remember we talked about that, because they need to be in with the packet, and
Mhm.
some people couldn't find it, so we got them in the packet.
Teresa, I'll talk to Nicole, I'll call her here after a while too, with that email thing, because I don't.
You have got, yeah, I don't know, because she was getting, I always think this out, and of course, when theirs come out, it does look weird, it doesn't look to me like it's from the chamber,
Well, yeah.
because it says MAC,
MAC, it's
MED.
Oh, the it's med board.
admin.
Mhm. Yeah, because so she's on the chamber and the MAC. She's the admin for them, and that's why it's just a separate.
Because I registered Kathy or whatever for the MAC breakfast, she asked me to, and I hadn't heard anything, and I didn't know if she'd heard anything, she said no, so I got a hold of whatever. the girl-
Nicole.
Nicole.
And
She
I
says,
talked to her right when I first, we first
Yeah.
did this with her.
she said that the system automatically sends out an email when,
Did you guys check? Because sometimes mine goes in the junk file.
yeah, Nicole said that, and Kathy said she looked, and there was
Enter
nothing
my
there.
trash and my spam. and all that stuff.
So I don't know what's going on with that. We might have to ask.
Yeah, I'll call her, I thought.
Yeah.
Make sure it's got the right
You know, I
email.
gave her the email address again, so.
Michael, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. And I tried to give you some goodies every time I come here.
Mm.
So I thought I would share with you this interesting information. So this is the Kansas Health Institute. They release county data every year, and they do ranking in terms of county health ranking and roadmaps. So they give a score to different areas. And I thought for each county, for all 105 counties, and I thought I would bring you this, and it has some minor data on mental health. Of course, this is not everything. These are only 3 elements of data, but I thought it might be a good thing for you to look at in the lens of holistic care approach. And I have an extra one. I don't know if you want it here.
Oh, I apologize. Would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Mike Riscala. I am the CEO of Body Mental Health. And I do this quarterly. So Commissioner Tremont, this is the second time
Right,
meeting,
yes.
so you will hear me talking about all mental health related stuff and Pawnee related stuff. So 3 areas that I highlighted, we highlighted for you in green on page 1 that has the orange header. The average number of poor mental health days for adults, that started creeping up a little bit in 2024, 2025. Now, I don't know exactly the cycle. If they're listing the 2025 data, to me, that goes back probably mid-2024 or beginning of 2024. I don't know if they go by fiscal year cycle, July through June, but
Mhm.
if they have the 2025 data, I would say the 2024 data is actually it actually has a portion of 2023. The other thing to, and to keep in mind that this is in line with Kansas and US average. And these are columns, the right-hand side columns, the state and the whole nation. And then mental health providers rate per 100,000 population, it started creeping up and then it started going down, I would say. And this is not just for Geary County, I would say this is something that you will note for other counties across the state, that with the CCBHC model, access is improving and is getting better, especially with these new models and programs that are being created that aim to add an extra layer of access. For example, individual placement support, for example, is one of the programs we added with CCBHC, and it allows individuals with a mental illness or a diagnosis for mental illness to search for a job, find a job, keep a job. A sort of community treatment, which is very high acuity, the frequent emergency room borders, and preventing all these crises from getting worse, or these conditions rather, from getting into a crisis mode and catching those. So the more we create, the more programs we add, that means that more providers are being hired. That means more therapists and case managers and peer support. I mean, the peer support, there is an emphasis on peer support, the peer support model, and the CCBHC model. And it works, scientifically proven by best practices, it works. On the other side of the page, you will see poor mental health and the average number of mentally unhealthy days reported in the past 30 days, adjusted by age. And the interesting thing, they added a factor for the category, and that is the quality of life. It is reported that it's 5 days for the county, and the US average for all counties is 6. So that's a plus for Geary County, actually. I think this might be a good conversation among the county commission to have also around all these areas, and I found this data to be very helpful.
Mhm.
We'll do the same thing, we'll distribute this data for our board at Pawnee as well, because this is informative data, although it's not all conclusive of all mental health related areas, but it gives you a little bit of a flavor. A few updates for you at the federal level. The U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary renewed a public health emergency declaration to address the nation's opioid crisis. And so that was, the public health emergency was set to expire on March 21st, 2025. But the recent renewal extends the emergency for 90 days. The department has relied on this declaration to facilitate voluntary information collections, expedite demonstration projects related to substance use disorder treatment, and expedite support for research on opioid use disorder treatments. So this is good. I want to give you a little bit of a funding update as we prepare, as we plan at Pawnee's level, and we're watching what's happening in terms of funding appropriations at the state level and so on. So on February 6th, the House Social Services Budget Committee, HSSBC, passed out the KDAD's budget with additional funding in the amount of $8 million the state community mental health centers ask. Of course, this was presented by our Association of Community Mental Health Centers, also in conjunction with the CMHC's the community mental health centers themselves, including $6 million for the CMHC Mental Health Reform Grants and $2 million for the Kansas Behavioral Health Center of Excellence. Last time I gave you some information on the Kansas Behavioral Health Center of Excellence. This is supposed to be a game changer in terms of innovation around mental health in the state of Kansas, and it's in its infancy phases. But it is supposed to be very helpful in improving the way we think, the way we treat mental health at an advocacy level and from a planning perspective as well, and from quality as well. But, unfortunately, the $6 million for the CMHC mental health reform grants that passed the House side has been taken out on the Senate side. This means that some of the grants we receive from KDADs, we expect a potential impact. We don't know what that would look like. We'll need to get more information. But the outlook to me I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But the $6 million chunk is a big amount of money. And I personally worry about what that would look like.
How many agencies are qualified for that funding?
I would say the 26 CMHCs across the state. There has been a number of bills that were supposed to help. I want to say that, I hope I'm not butchering the bill number. I want to say either 2048 or 2248. And that was supposed to be increasing the state funding for the emergency services, not emergency services, it's the crisis programs rather, by increasing the funding from the state lottery. And that was supposed to double in. It didn't go through the way it was intended to go through. I'll have to get you exact numbers, but there has been some slashing of funding, and we'll see how that looks like in the future. Pancakes for Pawnee. We had I'm not sure if you know about Pancakes for Pawnee, but we partner with Early Edition in Manhattan to offer a sausage and pancake dinner. And it took place this month, and it was wonderful. And we had success with it, even though the weather did not cooperate, but we had good supporters, and we served 335 meals.
Nice.
And so that was great. And we're working on coming up with a Pancakes for Pawnee in Geary County.
Nice.
So we'll see how that looks. Celebrating Pawnee, you get invited to Celebrating Pawnee event every year. And so we're thrilled to invite you to the Celebrating Pawnee held in Clay Center. That is our central location. We do it because we have 10 counties. We do it in Clay Center. And this is a complimentary gathering that honors the dedication of our employees over the past year. We will recognize Employees of the Month, unveil our Employee of the Year, acknowledge tenure awards, and if you're familiar with our staff and those who have been at Pawnee for a while or for a long time, you will see some of their faces. And for those who go above and beyond, will also be acknowledged. This is supposed to take place on Tuesday, April 22nd, 921 5th Street in Clay Center, United Methodist Church, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You're invited. We invite county commissions. You're also board members, so it would be great to see you.
We have our conference that week. Our county commission conference is that week.
Well, If any changes come up to your conference, we'll be happy to come. I'm not sure if you know about mental health training grant that we have received from SAMHSA a year plus ago, about a year and a half ago. And so SAMHSA is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration. They funded a grant for mental health training and has been very successful. We provide mental health first aid and a host of other trainings like self-care, de-escalation, question, persuade, and refer. In year one that spanned October 1st, 2023 to September 30, 2024, we trained 1,039 individuals in our 10-county area. And that, I want to say, more than 200% of the expectation of the grant. So that was very successful. In year two, between October 1st, 2024 and September, no, actually I take that back. From October 1st, 2024 up until a couple of weeks ago, I would say mid-March. The grant goal for year two is to train 750 individuals. And in less than 6 months, we were able to train 654 individuals.
Nice.
I can also get you next time, I can get you Geary County numbers too. That would be helpful, I'm sure. Last time I shared with you that we have received another grant that promoting the integration of primary and behavioral health care. Funding through the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration grant. This is a 2-year grant, $450,000 a year. So total of $900,000. We are one of the CMHCs that are in the first cohort. This is in part of a $10 million funding that the state as a whole received. And part of that grant is to add primary care. We don't want to take over the world of primary care. It's not our line of business, but the CCBHC model, the Certified Community Behavioral Health model, also relies on physical screening, and it is an important aspect of the CCBHC model. Oftentimes, when you ask an individual with mental illness or substance use disorder, if they know who their primary care provider, sometimes in many cases they don't, because they rely on their prescriber for their mental health meds, their addiction treatment meds. So this will fill a gap or actually tighten or improve actually an aspect of the work that we do within the CCBHC model. We'll also be adding we're in process of adding a patient portal, and that's a very expensive, I don't want to call it a gadget, but it's a very, very helpful tool for our clients to access their care online and request medication refills online, pay their bills online, their co-pays and financial. We had some recent grants. I'm not going to burden you with that list. I know you're interested in knowing, but I want to be mindful of your time and see if you have any questions.
Nope, I don't have any questions. Oh, congratulations on your grant that you got from Stormont Vale.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see that partnership has improved. When it was GCH, I think there's been, a little miscommunication. And so I'm glad to see that bridge has gapped. So
we continue to work on, improving access to our clients. Definitely emergency. I keep calling it emergency. That's the previous design I worked in. We used to be called emergency services. Crisis services can be an area that needs a lot of help and partners coming together and working together on this. And we're working together
Good.
on this. So it's all good.
Well, good. I was glad to see that. Any questions?
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And thanks for this. It's good information.
I'll email it to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we go into executive session, can reference legal matters with Reed McGregor, HR, or Forrest, I'm sorry. Forrest Reed, same thing. Um, and legal for how long? 20, 30 minutes?
30 minutes, that's what we've got reserved.
Okay. Well, let's do 20 in case we get done early. Yeah, we can always extend.
Second.
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 Yeah.
Moving second.
You want to shut the door in a minute?
Aye.